morning light. Oh, I just wanna be your Superman. Come fly with me, just take my hand. And now that we are cruising in mid-flight, you better watch out for the kryptonite. So come on over, we can make it through, make it through. Take my hand, I know just what to do, just what to do. On the beat, keep dancing through the night, we're dancing. We stay up until the morning light, the morning light. Oh, so come on over, we can make it through, make it through. Take my hand, I know just what to do, what to do. On the beat, keep dancing through the night. We stay up until the morning light, the morning light. Oh. As we look up at the stars in the sky, did we ever stop and wondered why we let our love shine all through the night? Just you and me, babe, until the morning light, the morning light. So come on over, we can make it through. Take my hand, I know just what to do, just what to do. On the beat, keep dancing through the night, keep dancing. We stay up until the morning light, the morning light. Baby, you're out of sight. On the beat, keep dancing through the night, we're dancing through the night. Stay up until the morning, stay up until the morning light.
Well, there you go, everybody. A very special hello to each and every single one of you. If you are new to our channel, I'm your host, Robert, aka The Tall Man. This is my lovely wife and co-host, aka Mrs. Tall Man. Not that anyone ever calls her that. We are coming to you live right now, this very moment, on location here on the Carnival Horizon from our cabin 6455. We hope each and every single one of you had a great day today. In fact, before we get into this, because we're going to be showing you decks 3 and 4 today, but we can't get to that until we show you balcony cam. Woohoo! Balcony cam!
Yay.
Yes. In fact, we have a very special announcement.
We do.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Mama Tall Man.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Bet you thought we forgot.
I bet you did.
We did not forget. Thank you, Facebook. The only thing Facebook's good for. Anyway, so again, before we get into Deck 3 housekeeping notes, if you're with us for the first time and you want to know something about the Carnival Horizon, again, we are on it right now for another 3 days. No better time to ask than like the present. So if you're with us live, you can leave your questions in the chat. If we already know the answer, of course, we'll give it to you. If we do not, we will find the answer for you sometime during the day tomorrow and bring it to you tomorrow night during the next show. So that's number one. Number two, we are here because we're getting ready for a group cruise. The ticker is right there. So we would love to have you all on our group cruise. So here's a little information on the group cruise.
Come join us November 8th, 2025.
There'll be meet and greets,
Parties,
pineapples.
ducks, and of course the live shows.
Don't miss our first ever group cruise. We'll see
you
you on the horizon. All right, guys, there you go. Just send your emails to tallmanscruiseadventures@gmail.com, and we will gladly connect you with the agent that is putting together the group cruise for us. So there's all your housekeeping notes. And for the person who gave us a thumbs down for me saying happy birthday to my mother, there are no words that I can express right now without using this. So there you have it. Anyway, we welcome you all to the show. Let's get to deck 3. Hey everybody, today Lisa and I, we are on the Carnival Horizon. We're on the lobby deck, or deck 3, and this is a public space as well as cabins. We're standing back here in the aft elevators, and so we're going to show you the Meridian restaurant. Now, as you can see, that big blank spot right there, that is the kitchen. You can only access the restaurant on deck 3 from the aft elevators if you need elevators. So we're going to go take a look at this restaurant, go up, go over, and then go down. So let's start right here. So they have their menus posted up here, but it's a restaurant's all electronic, so you would scan the QR code at your table. Absolutely beautiful restaurant, guys. Sort of middle area over where the deck 4 seats up there overlook down here. We'll stay to the right. And remember, the kitchen is back in there. I do like the decor in this restaurant. Lots of seating over there, but we'll show you that in a little bit. I would think this section right here would be a little bit more quiet. It's sort of cut off a little bit from everything else. You get all the way to the back of the ship here. Yeah, it's too dark for you to see anything out there. We're going to sneak forward a little bit and show you a little of this inside area here. You got 2 tops all right down there. Nice seating area here. Kind of cool, tall table right there in the middle. We'll catch that when we get up to that. That's a cool looking table. But this restaurant is mirror imaged. This table's down this side like there was the other side. So yeah, I think it would be nice and quiet over here. All right, we're going to cut across to the middle. So you can see that tall table that I was talking about. There's a bar right here inside the restaurant too. Don't often see that. So let's finish on this side. So there is your Meridian restaurant. Reception area again. There are restrooms just outside the restaurant here. There's a ladies' room on this side. And on the opposite side, you have the men's room. Now, normally these things are outside the restaurant, but here they're within the compound of the restaurant. And remember, that's all we can see of deck 3 from this part of the ship because the kitchen is technically back here. So we're going to have to go up the stairs, over and down. So we will see you on the other side. All right, so as you see, we've gone up and over. Here's the back side of the restaurant. Doors are closed. I do believe these doors always remain closed. They want you to access from the other side. But since it's closed right now, we'll go ahead and access from here. So we don't have to go up and over again. So your tables, you're prepping for tomorrow already. Folding all the linens. Thousands of napkins and forks and knives. And the machine doesn't do it. It's all humans. So slightly different decor in here in the Reflection restaurant instead of the Meridian. The Meridian restaurant is where your anytime dining is. This restaurant would be seating, traditional seating. As you can see, it's only one story here. And the other side is mirror imaged. We're not going to go all the way over there. It's just mirror imaged. As I was mentioning, here's the main access point. This is where you would normally come in to the Reflection restaurant. Here's your reception desk right here. The seats out to the atrium area. That is so cool. It just reminds me of a tornado.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. Little seating area over here as well. Here's your guest services area. This is the area that you come onto the ship. So it's always busy on embarkation day. Nice little area here. Your forward elevators and stairs are right there, but we're going to stay to the right here. Machine to register your card to your key card. Now there are some cabins on this deck. We'll do that in a separate video, but the cabins are up in there. And that's all offices. Let's cross the other side. We're going to have to step lightly because they're cleaning. And access to the elevators and stairs right here. Stairs. Cutting across the other side. See men's, ladies, and accessible. The cabins are back there. Here's your Carnival Adventures desk right here. Carnival Adventures. A couple computer kiosks over here. We'll see we're on the other side of the atrium here. It's a great space. Seating area. And access in and out of the ship from there. And I'm pretty sure that's exactly the side we came in. And we went this way. The Reflection restaurant is right there. We're not going to go back in and cut to the other side because, well, you've already seen all of the restaurant. So we're just going to stop right here in this amazing atrium. So until we see you on another deck or another ship, be safe. Well, there you go. There is your deck 3 here on the Carnival Horizon. And let's say hello to everybody. We haven't said hello. Macrina's like, tall man style. That is correct. Hello, Justina. Macrina's like, cookies. Mama Tall Man's 5 minutes of dancing. That gets her exercise for the day, right? Yeah. Justina's like, I want one of those cups. We have yet to put together and release merch. We will one day. Soon. Patricia, hello. How are you, love? Shane, hey guys, let's do it. Absolutely. Hello, Valerie. How are you tonight? Mark says he just got off of a back-to-back on the Legend.
Oh, nice.
And hopes I'm feeling better. Mostly, yeah. I mean, the flu takes a little bit. You know, the symptoms are all gone. I still have the cough. It'll probably take another week or two for that to go away. But generally, yeah, I feel pretty good. Generally. But it's like, looks like fun. Yeah, we did have fun.
Yeah.
Our ship can't wait. I know, right? 283 days. Right there. Group cruise, 283 days. Come on and join us, everybody. Macrina, beautiful sunset. Sunrise. That was a sunrise.
Yeah.
Sunset on the first day's highlights, sunrise on this one.
Yes.
And everybody is telling Mama Tall Man happy birthday.
Yay.
Happy birthday to you. Patricia can't wait to meet you, and I'm sure everybody can't wait to meet them as well. Meet to wait. Can't meet to wait them. Good Lord, group cruise, that is right.
Yes.
Who is your steward? Wondering if he was mine in September.
Do you remember his name?
We have his card somewhere. It's up there. I think it's Jordy.
That sounds...
Lisa's gonna, his card's right there. Yeah, he's, if we leave it's John. His name's John, Macrina. It'll be backwards, but it's John. Okay.
Sorry, John.
Sorry, John. You ever watch this? Didn't mean to call you Jordy. Who's Jordy?
Oh, Jordy. Toy guy.
The toy guy? Yeah, I know that's Jordy, but I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, all right. So
Sorry,
yeah,
John.
it's John. Mama told me and says, that just made my day. I'm so glad it did.
Yay.
Hopefully you weren't crying too much. Group cruise. Hello, Dr. Cherie. Hello, Gina. There's your dinner table. Awesome. Hello,
Yay.
Allie. Welcome to you and Tim. Good to see you again. Mr. Cruise Fever, hello to you as well. Allie actually has a quick question before Tim falls asleep. We were thinking of carrying our luggage off our cruise ourselves versus putting them out in the hall and having to get them once we get off. Have you ever done this?
Never.
No.
Never.
We always seem to have way too much luggage.
We
and
overpack.
don't want to deal with any of that. Unless you have like a really silly early flight that you're afraid that you might miss, there's no reason to not put your luggage out the night before and let them deal with it and put it into the terminal for you. So that's just us. But there's a ton of people that carry their luggage off.
A ton of people. But yeah, I mean, as long as you remember to pack your clothes that you want to wear home and your hairbrush and your toothbrush and deodorant, things like that, leave those aside in a backpack or a tote bag or something for that morning. Yeah, leave the luggage out there.
The other thing is it's hard to get an elevator.
Exactly.
Right? So if you've got, a big suitcase and maybe a smaller one and you both have that and you're trying to get into an elevator, good luck.
Yeah. Or if you just have your backpack or a tote bag, you can use the stairs if you need to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does make it a lot more challenging to get off the ship if you have all of your luggage with you.
Hello, Hickey Nuki World Tour. Welcome. Bev's like, I usually carry off my own luggage. I don't have to worry about it being misplaced. I mean, knock on wood. I mean, it goes from the ship to the terminal. There's not a lot of places for it to be lost between those 2 points. If for whatever reason you get into the terminal and it's not there, then it's still on the ship somewhere. And they're just trying to tell you that you need to get back on the ship and take another cruise. That's all that means, Bev. Hickey Nuki World Tour says, Allie, the only issue with carrying it off is, the elevators. That's just what we're talking about. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a different story. Yeah, I don't know where the other guy went, but we have John, and John's
great.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So we go and eat dinner around 5:30. As soon as we're done, we come back to get the computer to make sure we're starting to get everything ready. Room's been completely cleaned in that little window. So he's really good at doing that. Okay, so we've seen Deck 3. We've said hello to everybody and answered a few questions. Again, feel free to ask as many as you like. We're going to move on to Deck 4. Hey, everybody. Today, Lisa and I, we're on the Carnival Horizon. We're on the mezzanine, or Deck 4. This is all public area. And so we're going to show you where all the public spaces are in relationship to elevators, stairs, bathrooms, and different things. Now, we do like to stay to the right. All the way up here at the front of the ship, staying to the right, you have the Liquid Lounge, the theater, They call it the Liquid Lounge. You have a men's room and an accessible cabin on this side.
Accessible bathroom.
Accessible cabin, yeah. Accessible bathroom. Way to go, Robert. They may be in here rehearsing and things, so we're just gonna peek. No, they're not. You do have access to get up to deck 5 from in here, but this is all your deck 4 seating. And what I talked about being unique is most theaters don't have this wide open space. There's chairs that are permanently mounted. The chairs are not permanently mounted here, as you can see. So just a little bit different look and feel. And in fact, as you can see, the bar is right here inside the theater. Most theaters do not have bars inside of them. Now, as you see, there are a couple of poles, pillars, 2 on the side, 2 really on that side. There's a smaller one back there as well, same on the other side, but just know you could have some sightline issues there. Ladies' room right here. Remember the men's and the accessible were on the other side. Up here on deck 4 in the center atrium is where a lot of the shops are. A little treasure zone here, lots of stuff for the kids. Little seating area here. Access to the forward elevators and stairs. This also overlooks, this is the atrium area, which is nice. More seating area is here. Here's your courtside liquor and tobacco. If liquor and tobacco is your thing, you got a store here. Get some great deals typically on alcohol and tobacco. We'll see Hip Fish on the way back. We're getting into the casino. Technically not supposed to be videoing in there, so we're not actually gonna spin the camera around to see machines. It's a decent sized casino. We're just going to cut straight through. Midship elevators and stairs are back here. You didn't see them right there, but we're going to stay to this side. There's no way to go to the right from the casino. Have to go to the left or to those midship elevators and stairs. Speaking of midship elevators and stairs, they're right here. Ladies' room. On this side is your Club O2. Since we can't keep to the right, we'll just show you this real quick. This will be closed and typically locked, but this is your Club O2, which are for the 15 to 17-year-olds. No, it's actually open, but the lights are out, but I think you can get the idea. So you've got a nice little gathering area over here, seating area. Got a jukebox, foosball. Yeah, nice area. I like the little seating areas up in there. So there's your Club O2. Carnival's kids program is absolutely amazing. Each of the areas dedicated for a certain age group, and all of the activities are, of course, catered towards that age group. A lot of times for the 15 to 17-year-olds, they just need a place to gather. Of course, we're back in the midship elevators and stairs. Casino's that way, but we're gonna get back this way. Ladies' room. You just have to walk easy and slow because they're cleaning the floors. Well, here's your Skybox sports bar. It was really busy in here yesterday, because football games and stuff going on. And these, you can't tell, but these are all TVs up there. So they have different games and stuff going on in there. On some of the other ships, this would be the Heroes Bar. But here it's called the Skybox Sports Bar. Artwork all up and down here. Here's an accessible bathroom right there. Here's the office to your Park West people. Men's room right here. Here's your Limelight Lounge. The door's open, but I'm pretty sure you can see that it says Limelight. So they do comedians in here. They'll do dancing in here. Limelight is a mixed use club in a lot of the Carnival ships. The newer ones will have a dedicated sort of club space. I don't want to say disco, but dedicated club. A lot of the ships don't. So the Limelight is mixed use. There is an exit this way. It's an emergency exit. The door is normally closed. We're going to go out the way that you would normally have to go. And we're heading towards the back of the ship in the Deck 4 area of the Meridian restaurant. You have a couple of conference rooms up here. We'll just go ahead and show you this one now, and then we'll show you the other side. We're just going to have Lisa hold that door. It's very heavy. So if you're having a convention at sea, this is sort of the convention space. And it can be morphed, I believe. No, that's a smaller dedicated space. There's sort of an air wall down there that can be removed. But it looks more like an annex for the restaurant than it does convention space. But they do call it the convention center. Ladies' room right there. Men's room will be over here on the other side, right there, as well as access to the conference room that's on this side of the ship. And that is the emergency exit outside of the Limelight Lounge. You would normally not enter that way. So let's go inside the Meridian restaurant here on Deck 4. Your reception area. That's the other conference room. There's stairs to get down. Stairs. Overlooking this. These would be fun. I think some fun tables to sit at right here at the rail. Overlooking what goes on downstairs. I do serve breakfast here at the Meridian restaurant. I'm not sure about the Reflection restaurant, to be honest with you. There's a whole seating area over here. That leads out over here. Yeah, that'd be a nice area to sit too, I think, Lisa.
I think so.
Right? Almost like a private table.
Yeah.
Little nook over there. And same thing on this side. quiet in here tonight. A lot of times they have the music playing in the middle of the night. The people that are in here working, I guess it helps them stay awake. But there's actually nobody in here working right now. Maybe that's why the music is off. Stairs to get down to the third deck. That is it. That is the sort of the conference room again on that side. Meridian Restaurant. So now we're going to double back to the atrium area so we can see all the stuff that's on this side of the ship. Which means we have to walk back through where they were cleaning again. So we'll see you in the atrium. Right back where we took the detour, and I mentioned before hip fish. So there's your hip fish. Put your washers in there, some back hacks and things. Little seating area over here. Some more seating area. DJ musicians stand up here if they're doing entertainment for the atrium area. Forgot your purse or want to get a new one? You can do that here at the Island Travelers. And that is it. We've gone 360 degrees here on deck 4. Here's that liquid lounge. So until we see you on another deck or another ship, be safe. Well, there you go. There is your deck 4. And I have a special message for a few of the people watching. If you're still watching, you're going to know who this is for.
Mother was a...
Yep, there you go.
Oh my goodness.
Terrible feeling tonight. Okay. Macrina says, that's a different Stewart. That, absolutely, sorry.
Yeah.
Your guy's gone. Hello, Allie. Okay, good point. Thanks, everyone. Absolutely. That was for carrying off her luggage.
Yes.
Macrina says, I'm never in a hurry to get off the ship because usually I have a late flight. Yeah, we always tell people that's one of the tips. If you have to fly in and fly out, you really don't want to pick a flight any earlier than 2 o'clock.
No, I would agree.
Only because, one, you typically got to get to the airport at least 2 hours early, and things happen. There are delays. Getting on this ship was a perfect example. There were people literally still getting off the ship at 10:30.
Yeah.
And so if you had an early, now mind you, they got to go down, they got to go through customs, got to get their luggage, or even if they're carrying luggage off, then they got to find a taxi or transportation to get to the airport, blah, 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 blah. So it's always best to make sure that your flights are a little bit later in the day. That's just good safety.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Beth says, they managed to lose the tag off my bag once, almost missed a post-excursion looking for it.
Oh my.
Excuse me. I've done self-assist ever since. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up.
Thank you.
There you go. And Hickey Nuki says that self-assistance is more flexible. It certainly is.
It is.
And for those of you who have the ability to carry off your suitcase and all the things, it is a great option. Mm-hmm. To me, the only pitfall is trying to get that elevator.
Yeah.
We just have too much stuff. That's why we've never done that. So, hello, Carol. Welcome to you. How are you tonight?
Hi.
Macrina says, I really love how all these doors and areas are open and unlocked for 24/7 access, even if they're closed for the day. Look, let's be honest. Outside of, us crawling around in the middle of the night shooting video, if the door's shut, nobody else is going to try to open it and go through it. And so, which is the reason why they close them.
Yeah.
In most cases, because they're cleaning, the floors are wet and things, and they don't want you to potentially slip and fall. So we get that. Anyway. Hello, Ozan. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Ashley, welcome, Ashley. You're late, but you're here now. Again,
Yay.
Always don't worry about it. Daniel Fields, hello, welcome. You that seems like a new name to me. Is that a new name?
That is a new name, yes.
Welcome to the Tall Man Clan.
Welcome.
All right. Or is it Danielle? Daniel, yeah.
Yeah.
Ozan, I like night movies. Yeah, that's part in your general direction. And we get on the horizon in March 1st for an ABC cruise. Awesome.
Yay.
Awesome. Yeah, you're going to enjoy it. the group cruise that we're here prepping for, see the group cruise there, the countdown, we're doing the ABCs on the group cruise. But we came on here ahead of the group cruise to meet with the team on board, scout out locations that we can do what we're going to do here on the ship, as well as figure out some of what we're going to do when we get on the ship. But meantime, we're videoing it all and bringing it to you now. So Daniel, when you get out here, you're going to know the ship backwards and forwards.
Yes.
So thanks for joining us.
Yes.
That being said, I think it's snack time.
Oh, okay.
It's snack time.
Okay.
We've got Boston cream pie.
Boston.
Isn't it Boston cream pie?
No, banana.
Banana cream pie. I did think it was Boston cream.
It's the other B word.
It's the other B word. That's another B word too. So okay, let's find some cool music, shall we?
Okay.
No, yeah, here we go. Snack time. Everybody get your snack. Bum ba dum. It's snack time. All band style. Come on, y'all. All right. Hopefully everybody had a good snack time. We did.
Yes.
Yes. So today was Ocho Rios Day.
Mhm.
And it's, I think, actually been a while since we've docked in Ocho Rios.
It has been a while.
And where our ship was docked, there really wasn't really anything to do.
No, a very, very small enclosed area at the port, and they had, several little stands and locals selling a few T-shirts and trinkets and wooden things that they had made and decor and
Which was
very
all
small.
covered. Which was all covered in the highlights.
Which was all covered in the highlights. Very, very few things there.
Yeah, a lot of ports cruise lines pull into, there's sort of infrastructure in the port. There's buildings, there's shops, there's things. Some of them even have beaches and some other things associated with the ports. There was nothing here. And so if you were wanting to do anything in Jamaica, you're going to have to leave the port.
Yeah.
If you're coming to Ocho Rios.
To Ocho
Right.
Rios, yes.
So-
And you're going to want to do the excursions with the ships, especially with the unrest that's been going on lately.
Yes. There's
Yeah.
elevated risk currently right now in Jamaica. So, but Ozan want to know whose birthday cake. It's Mama Tallman. It's my
Yes.
mama's birthday today.
Yes.
So we did a special happy birthday tour. You missed it, so just tell Mama Tallman happy birthday and she'll be happy.
Yes.
Yeah. So a ton of people got off the ship today. The ship was very, very quiet.
Yeah.
We chose to stay on board and sort of try to reset our clocks from being up for nearly 24, 25, 26, 28. It was a lot of hours. But it was nice and quiet on the ship today, so a lot of people got off. I spoke to some people who have sort of relatives and friends here, and they met with them, and they came to pick them up and took them around the island and do nice
nice.
excursions. That's okay to do, right?
Absolutely.
So there was that. Dinner. Let's talk about our dinner tonight. Lisa's got the menu.
Yeah. Give me just a moment here to find that.
Menus.
There we go.
All right. So appetizers: barbecue beef spring roll, spaghetti carbonara, Hawaiian shrimp poke, shrimp cocktail, Caesar salad, broccoli and cheddar cheese soup, and the pasta fajoule. All right. There's that. We'll go this way. The entrees: southern fried chicken, roasted leg of lamb, roasted sirloin of beef, spaghetti carbonara, eggplant cutlet a la Parmigiana, and a featured Indian vegetarian dish. And the featured salad, which I'm so surprised you didn't get, was the beef steak salad.
Oh, I didn't even see that. I would have.
I know. That's why I was surprised you got the other one.
I can't believe you didn't tell me about that.
We will post the menus and pictures of all the food on our Facebook group. If you're not part of our Facebook group already, there it is. It's a private group. You got to answer 2 questions to get in. What was your first cruise? And
Agreed to be nice.
Yeah, agree to the group rules is essentially be nice. So today, if you've never been on a cruise before, if you're getting ready to do your first cruise, then the word is fart. I fart in your general direction. Just put the word fart in there for your first cruise. I'll understand that you're paying attention. But we post all kinds of different things in our Facebook group than we do here on YouTube. And one of it is we post all the menus and pictures of the food that we get when we're on the different ships that we're on. So there you go, Facebook group.
Now, there will be a slight delay in posting those because I do not have internet access. So when we get off the ship, then I will start posting all of the menus and the food pictures.
Yes. All right. So then for dessert, banana cream pie times 2.
Yes. Banana cream pie again.
Banana cream pie again.
It was good.
It was so good. We're having it now again. Yeah. Cappuccino pat de crema. I've never heard of that. The Carnival melting chocolate cake, fruit, ice cream sorbet, cheese bite, normal stuff.
Yes.
So that was the dinner menu. We were at a different table tonight than we were the previous night. The service at this table was equally as amazing of the service at the other table. We were literally out of there by we got there at 5:30. We were out of there by 6:20.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And that's with four appetizers. The more appetizers you eat, the slower the service gets, just because they're not going to bring the meal until all the appetizers are done.
Yeah.
Fairly quick anyway, but yeah, they were absolutely fantastic, these guys.
Yeah.
So
actually took their card.
Yeah, it was what table was it? 524, I think. 524, 526.
Was it 526?
526. And the names are backwards, but it's Ireneo, Narvin, and Jonas.
Yeah.
Fantastic team.
Yeah. So, kudos. Thanks, guys.
Deck 3 of the Meridian restaurant. And it was one of the little 2-tops against the wall that you saw in the video.
Yes.
So, anyway.
Yes.
But dinner was fantastic.
Great service. Yeah.
Outside of that, just a nice, relaxing day. It was a little bit overcast, but the weather's nice and warm, right? I know there's a lot of people that are not in warm places right now.
Very true.
But weather was, we've gotten rid of the long jeans and long shirts and everything. Obviously, she's wearing we do that for dinner, but during the day it's with shorts and t-shirt weather. So.
Oh, it definitely was shorts and t-shirt weather today.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. So let's see here. Let's catch up with everybody here.
All right.
All right, Daniel. Macrina's like funky banana cream pie music, right? That's some good music there. Was that the one? Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, absolutely. And Ozan says happy birthday to Mama Tallman. And of course, Mama Tallman says thank you back. So thank you, Ozan. Appreciate you giving Mama Tallman some love there. The C-Day brunch banana cream pie, assorted cookies, and 7-layer chocolate cake are all good. Yes. Try them all. Yes.
Yes.
When they come in and ask, what would you like for dessert? I just say yes. Just bring it all. So oddly enough, the one not so bright spot, neither of us actually liked the pasta fajoule, the soup tonight.
That's true. Yeah.
It was
usually we love all the soups on Carnival.
Yeah.
Didn't care for that one.
No, not at all. And we love pasta fajoule.
Yeah.
So
and I can't tell you what was different about it.
Yeah. Well, one thing, it definitely was not nearly as hot as it should have been for a soup.
True.
That was one thing.
Yeah.
But it had a very interesting flavor that I don't know. It just.
Yeah.
Everything else was fantastic.
Everything else that we've tried, we've loved.
Yeah.
But that was, surprising.
Because I'm pretty sure we've had the pasta fajoule before on other ships.
We have too. Yeah.
So, yeah. Difference of chefs, right?
It is.
Do you put in, this much salt or this much salt? Or do you put in this much oregano or that much? I know they have recipes they follow, but from a spice standpoint, a lot of it is feel, right? You put a little in, you stir it up, you taste it,
Well,
you
from
season it to taste.
from my days, working in restaurants, the chefs and the servers and everybody tastes everything
Yeah.
before it's served,
Yep.
and if somebody feels that it's a little off, then
You
something
make
else
the
is-
adjustments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
They do that here.
Yeah.
Yep, all the time.
So just different taste buds, I guess.
Yep.
Hmm.
Allie says, I'm hoping we'll have nice weather in March going Eastern Caribbean. Yeah, March is a good time of year.
Mhm.
Generally speaking, you're not in hurricane season.
No.
The storms are not, big time brewing. And so March is a good time to go. But that being said, storms can blow up at any time. You just, make the best of it. The hardest thing about any of that is if you're going to a port that is a tender port. Even if the weather is generally good, but the seas are a little bit on the rough side, you end up having to miss tender ports because the smaller boats can't, they can't deal with it, especially getting up next to the big boat, and getting on and off is very, very dangerous. So there's a lot of ships that don't get to go to the ports that are supposed to be tender ports because of, again, not necessarily bad weather, but high seas.
Or high wind. I mean, that can have the same effect.
Yes. The
You know.
wind and the seas sort of work
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
but tomorrow for us, we're going to Cayman Islands, and we haven't decided one way or the other whether we're going to get off or not. It is a tender port.
It is.
We have not videoed the rest of the ship yet, the outside areas. So we're going to be doing that first tomorrow. And if we still have time, maybe we'll get off and walk around a little bit. Going to the Caymans, it's one of our favorite places to go. It's we love to go swim with the Stingray out at Stingray Island.
Stingray City.
Stingray City, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Stingray Island. It's actually more like the
It's
Stingray, Sandbar.
It is.
It's the Stingray Bar, where you two can feed the stingray.
But it really is cool. If you've never done that, oh my goodness, I recommend trying it. They're so soft and they rub up against you like a cat would.
Meow.
Yeah.
Ozan says the Turkish cake is on him if we ever show up in
Oh,
in
awesome.
Turkey.
Thank you.
We're gonna hold you to that.
Yeah.
Ashley says, are any of the ABC Island tender ports? Group cruise will be my first time there. So excited.
Oh, nice.
Excellent. You know what? I haven't looked, but I don't think so. I don't think any of them are.
We've been to both Aruba and Curacao, but neither one of us have been to Bonaire, so I can't say 100%.
We'll look it up and ask you.
Yeah,
and ask you.
But the other two are not tendered ports. They do dock. I believe Bonaire docks as well. I don't think it's a tender port.
Yeah, I mean, the tenders, they are what they are.
And that was for who asked that again?
It's for Ashley.
Ashley?
We'll find out and let you know tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you doing Stingray City tomorrow? I like to do the torture store. The torture store? The tortoise, maybe? The Tortuga store. Yes, Tortuga store.
Okay.
They used to have free samples of the rum cake flavors. ABCs are all walk-off ports.
Ah, perfect. I guess I don't have to research. Thank you.
Yeah. As I just said, Macrina, we haven't decided. We haven't booked an excursion to this time, only because this was more about let's get on there, do what we need to do from a content standpoint, and get off.
Yeah.
We'll be visiting Grand Cayman again later in the year, too. So we'll probably do it then. Because, of course, the last time we were there, Lisa was not feeling well, so she didn't actually get off the ship. So I went to Stingray City by myself.
Yeah. Yeah, we bought the tickets, but yeah, I was just not well. So I stayed in bed. Yeah.
All by my lonesome.
Oh.
Yes. And of course, Carol's like, Bonaire, no. I thought they were all dock ports.
I
but
thought so too, but I wasn't 100% sure, and I'd rather not say it without knowing.
Well, we were just at the other two islands recently, which is how we know that, but
yeah.
we've not been to Bonaire. Ashley says, thanks, only tender port I've been to is Catalina Island.
Oh, okay.
Well, we're at a tender port tomorrow. If you ever go to Grand Cayman, tender port.
Yes.
Right. So there's really there's not many left.
No, there aren't. But, right outside Grand Cayman is this huge coral reef, and so the larger boats just can't go. And it's not like they can dredge out like most of the other ports do because of the coral reef. You don't want to disturb that. So that one, in my opinion, is never going to be a docked port
Yeah.
is always going to be a tendered port.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right.
Was it good?
Oh, God, it's so good. You know you were eating it, too.
I know.
Macrina says Bon Air has a wonderful gelato shop right past the shops.
Ooh, and you know I like gelato.
We love our gelato.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, but yeah, so we are came tomorrow. We're probably going to stay on the ship. We have actually some business stuff to take care of for here
We do.
at 2:00 tomorrow. But it's okay. If we don't get off, we don't get off. If we do, we do.
Mm-hmm.
So we might just get off for an hour or two just to walk around the port a little bit.
Yeah, if
stretch
we
our
do,
legs.
it's going to be for a very short time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I haven't gotten like a Grand Cayman hat or a shirt in a while, so
Oh, well,
you have to
yeah.
get one. I was thinking about the same thing with
And my
Jamaica too,
Stingray
but
City shirt is
long.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a rag for a while.
It's been a rag for a while.
I
Rag
need a
tag.
new Stingray City shirt.
Right. All right. So tomorrow night, we're going to be showing you deck 5.
Yeah.
All right, Daniel. So make sure you come back tomorrow night. So for deck 5, knock on wood, deck 5 inside and outside, because there's a whole outside area to deck 5.
Yes.
And so that is the plan for tomorrow.
Yes.
So make sure you do that. Again, one more time with the group cruise. If you're interested in going on the group cruise with us, just send us an email to tallmanscruiseadventures@gmail.com. There is the countdown clock. It is on the Carnival Horizon, the ship that we're on right now.
Going to the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao.
Yep. And so just send us an email. We will forward to you the contact information for the travel agent who is putting the group together for us. Now, you must book into the group if you want to attend the group functions. And obviously figured out by me just saying that we'll send you the information for the travel agents. We are not travel agents. All right. We didn't start this channel to get more customers and bolster our business. We started this channel because we absolutely love cruising and want to bring our years of knowledge about the industry and stuff to you guys, because we used to be travel agents years ago, but no longer. But anyway, so send us an email. And I have one more thing that I want to talk about tonight. And I've been contemplating this conversation for a couple of weeks and whether or not I wanted to publicly talk about it. But I found the information in the public. So since I found the information in the public, I don't feel we're saying something that hasn't already been said. Does that make sense? So a few weeks ago, I don't know where I was that I was reading this information, but I did save all the documentation behind it, and I may do a special video just for this. But for those who are watching, one of the big things that Lisa and I talk about, it rears its ugly head about every 2 months, is tipping the staff on the ship. Right, the cruise lines have an automatic gratuity, and it ranges from $15 to $25 or $30, depending on the cruise line and depending what kind of cabin you're in. And that is per person every day. So let's just say it's $15 for equal round numbers. So on a 6-day cruise, that's what, 30, 60, 90, that's $180 between the two of us, right?
Okay.
All right. And we always harp, just pay the gratuities, pay the gratuities, pay the gratuities, pay the gratuities, because the cruise line, they don't pay the crew as much as, someone in America may make. Now, that being said, most of these people come from countries where the money they are making on the ship far surpasses the money they could make if they were in their country, which is why it's attractive to them, right? And so I don't have an issue with that, right? It's also why ships are flagged in foreign countries. If they were flagged as an American ship, they would have to pay American wages.
Yes.
But this is what I heard. And I wanted to do this in this forum because I would love to have a conversation with this. So it always has been our impression, and many, 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 many others out there, that the tips that the crews receive from the automatic gratuities are split certain ways, right? Your cabin steward's going to get a certain percentage, and the assistant, maybe gets a different, and your head waiter gets something, and right, everybody gets a little piece of the pie. And that is, and here comes the big thing, in addition to their base salary. Okay? Mind you, base salary, and then the tips are extra. It turns out that is actually not what's happening. And we actually have some pay stubs that show and verify this.
We don't have them.
We don't physically. They weren't given it to us, but this was
somebody posted them.
What we saw.
Yeah.
And I take them to be valid from all the lingo that's on there. These are not recreated.
Right.
These particular pay stubs were about a bartender, but we've now actually asked some other crew as well. And basically, this is how it works. Now, these pay stubs were from Royal Caribbean. But again, we've been asking around on other cruise lines, and they confirmed what I'm about to say. So this person on Royal Caribbean was a bartender. Now, the bartenders are guaranteed a certain salary. I'm going to just use round numbers. Let's say that salary for the month, for the entire month, is $1,500. On average, I believe they work 12-hour days, the bartenders on Royal Caribbean ships. And they're paid a base salary of, again, approximately $1,500. Some people make a little more, some people make a little less, but let's just say, for the sake of this conversation, their base pay is $1,500. So then again, we expect that the tips that they make go on top of that. No. The $1,500 is a guarantee from the cruise line, and it is essentially a draw against their tips. Again, I'll make sure I explain this carefully because this is a big thing. So let's say through that month, your card, you've gone to the bar. We're just talking about the bartenders right now. Every time you go to the bar, they charge you 18%. It's a tip that goes on there. Okay. If you have the drink package, every drink, there's a tip. So if you take all that money at the end of the month, excuse me, and all the tips add up to $1,000, well, the cruise line, remember, they guarantee $1,500. Mm-hmm. So that means the first $1,000 came from the tips. The cruise line pays the $500 difference.
Yes.
Now, let's say their tips exceed the $1,500. Well, they would get the balance. The point is, the tips are not extra. The tips that we pay through automatic gratuities are subsidizing the salaries that the cruise lines are paying their people.
That they're guaranteeing.
Right? Does, again, this make sense? If it doesn't, please leave a comment. I want to make sure I explain this clearly so nobody misunderstands. Okay? But cruise lines are guaranteeing their people a certain salary.
Yes.
If the tips they make only make up part of the salary, the cruise line will cover the difference. So in this example, it was they guaranteed $1,500. The dude's tips were like $900. So the cruise lines only had to pay him $600.
Yes.
Right? Who out there is this shocking news to? Again, leave in the chat. Is this how you believed it to work? Or did you believe, like us, that the tips were extra, which sort of makes that low salary base for the amount of hours they're working more palatable? The reality is that is not the case. In most cases, they're just going to walk away with their $1,500.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to get tips. Now, if you take a 20 out of your pocket and slap it in their hand, that's cash.
That goes right to them.
Respectfully under the table, it does. It goes right to them. But those automatic gratuities, those $15, $16, $17, $18, whatever it is we're paying on whatever cruise line that you're paying, does not get split up, and meaning they're going to get extra. That tip is not an extra. It's subsidizing the guaranteed dollar amount that the cruise lines offered them. Mm-hmm. So again, if it was $1,500 and the tips added up to $900, the cruise lines only technically now out of their own pocket shelling out $600. Patricia says, so they can never get more than $1,500. No, they can. If their supervisors allow them to work more hours, they can work more hours, meaning they can get more tips. Also remember, for bartenders, some people will drop $1. I know it's funny. It's just $1. But for every drink they get, they drop the bartender $1 in cash. Because then the bartender may start pouring a little heavier, right? But if we're just talking about all the electronic stuff, we have the salary that is a guarantee, and we have all the predetermined gratuities that come out of our $15, $16, $17. And if you're at the bar, every time you get a drink, there's a tip added to that as well. Those are what I call the electronic tips, because it's all said and done.
Yes.
So if it adds up to more than $1,500, they would make the difference, right? Because the cruise line's already guaranteeing the $1,500.
Yes.
But remember, if they're making more than $1,500, it means they've already earned $1,500 in tips.
And the cruise line pays them nothing.
Zero.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Right? It, to me, was shocking when I read this, because it's completely the opposite way of how I feel the industry presents it.
Yeah, it's not the way that I had been taught, and yeah, that's not the way that I had been taught.
No. And this is why I wanted to talk about it. We're huge advocates to pay your tips.
Pay your tips. Pay your tips.
Because there's a lot of people that want to go down and have their automatic gratuities taken off their bill. And that is now how I feel. Not because I don't want to cheat them, but because I want to physically hand these guys cash so they are actually getting extra money.
Yeah.
Not taken away from a draw.
Yeah, not just making the $1,500 minimum.
Now, here's something else that I found interesting. And again, this was in their offer letter that they got for one of their contracts. Cruise line isn't even paying for their flights. They'll reimburse them for any visas they have to get, but they are not covering their flights.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay.
They have to fly themselves to get to the ship.
Wow.
In this particular case, with all the documentation, with the letter and the offer and all that stuff.
And that was on the royal
Was
expose, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's read what some of the people are saying.
Okay.
So again, we started off with Patricia, so they can never make more than $1,500. I mean, generally, you are correct, but if they're working longer hours, but yes, it's difficult.
Yeah.
Carol's
this
like,
whole thing makes it
shocking.
difficult.
Ashley, very shocking. And yes, I believed it was extra, and it makes me sad for them. It does with that. But always remember, really, even that $1,500, they cannot make that same kind of money at home.
In their own country.
In their own countries. That's why they do this.
Yeah.
How many times have you ever asked a crew member, how long have you worked? Oh, we've been here 27 years. We've been here 15 years. We've been here 9 years. There's a reason why they do that. Even though it's a guarantee, even though what we're talking about sucks, even that $1,500 is life-changing for a lot of people.
It is. It really
and
is.
And so I don't want to lighten the moment of how the cruise lines are handling the tips, because what they get is more than they can make at home, but that's not the point.
Mm-hmm.
The point is the tips are supposed to be extra.
It's supposed to be tips.
It's not supposed to be, it's supposed to be tips, right?
Yeah.
Not supposed to be subsidizing
right.
Their draw.
Yeah.
Right? True Texan Girl says, it's aggravating because buying a drink at a bar, they automatically add the 18%. Yes, they do.
They do.
And we always add a little more. So really, the company is getting more. Yes.
So instead of adding more on the tip, on the check, I would hand it to them in cash.
Bring a bunch of cash with you. Bring a bunch of $1 bills, and every time you buy, just make it rain.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't tag any more money onto the bills.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, I'll definitely be bringing more cash with me to tip.
Yeah.
Yep. Wow. The cruise companies can be so greedy when it comes to money. It should be their $1,500, then gratuities are extra.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And that's what we've always been taught.
Yeah.
And that's what we've always put out there for you guys is, information that we've been given. But
if we decide to bring this outside of the stream and do just a special video just about it, like I said, I've got the pictures of the pay stubs and the offer letter and in black and white of, look, you got to find your way here and do this, and we'll reimburse you for the visas. And I'm like, man, yeah, it was very, very, very much eye-opening. So never add more on receipt. Give cash. 1,000,000%, Carol.
Yes.
So when the cruise line ups the tip amount, does that mean the cruise ups the guarantee minimum $1,500? No. So the cruise line saves money. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just making more money.
Yeah.
That's how they're making more money. Now, again, $1,500 was just a round number. In this article, it was actually, I think, $1,450 for one of his contracts. There was somebody on, I think it was the Wonder of the Seas. They were making $2,250 as a bartender. There's some sort of strange sliding scale. I don't know if it's because of the ship. I don't know if it's because of the longevity and how long they've been with the company. I don't know any of that. And again, we're just talking about the bartenders. That's the only documentation we had was bartenders. Now, we've talked to some cabin stewards to see if that same process was happening for them. And the answer was yes.
Yes.
Tips are an amount taken away from their guarantee or their draw. So say a cabin steward is $1,000. And again, we didn't ask for dollar amounts when we were asking these people. We just wanted a simple conversation, and we're not going to repeat names either because we don't want to get them in trouble. But let's say again, it's $1,000. And the automatic gratuities, if they don't add up to $1,000, they're at least guaranteed their $1,000. But if it adds up to $1,100, great, then they would make $1,100. But the cruise line isn't paying any of that. It all comes from the automatic gratuities and stuff that we, the passengers, pay the cruise lines. Mm-hmm. Yep. So to me, it's very sad. Yep. Sounds like it, says Ashley. I agree. Ashley, they always seem to like cash better. And that is why.
Now you know why.
Yep. You give somebody a $5 bill and they're all but crying for a $5 bill. Now, look, again, in some of these countries, $5 goes a long way. They can buy a sack of rice and like 14 other things for $5 US.
Yeah.
It's huge. But the biggest reason why they're so appreciative is because it really is extra money in their pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do add cash in in the envelope and give it to our steward before we leave. Excuse me, everybody. Darn hangover flu here. But just think about it. But there's more. You have your cabin steward, and you got your wait staff, and for those who are drinking, the bartenders. Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, there are other things your gratuities are supposed to be paying for. Like the people that clean the hallways and pool attendants and different things like this. It's hard to carry enough cash around and give everybody that you come in contact dollars. And that is what's so frustrating to me, because there's a lot of people that deserve that little extra.
Yeah. That
help make your experience a better experience. And it may not even be people you come directly in contact with. However, the automatic gratuities are supposed to be taking care of that. But it's not. It's not. Same, true Texan girl. I always hand my room steward cash on the last night before the cruise. And so do we. When we have traditional dining, we do that with our waiters and servers at the table. Fortunately, with anytime dining, almost every night you're at a different table. And so it's kind of hard to do that. You have to go back to each table and find you guys here's $3 or $5 or $10 or whatever it is. Now, interestingly enough, not to get too far off the subject, but in the same, it wasn't the same article, but there was another article talking about the porters at the ports.
Yeah, that was the other end.
Right. So I want you to think about this, guys. How many people tip the porters that handle your bags when you show up to the port? Again, just say me in the chat, and we'll come back to this in a minute. Me. Macrina. And I do tip cash to many crew because of that. I know how that goes since my husband worked on Carnival. Yeah. And I think I'm not sure if it's exactly the same way as it was back in those days. I don't know. I
remember when I first started cruising, there was no automatic gratuity.
There was not.
You brought
cash to put in the envelope.
Yes, and
right?
You handed it to your servers and your room attendants, and you handed it to those people, and this was all, the automatic gratuities being added onto your account was supposed to replace all that, so you don't have to go through all that trouble and hand out the cash. But, now it seems like that's not what's going on.
Yes. So, yeah. Where do we leave off? Trade text and curls. But if you start bringing cash, there are cameras everywhere. The companies will see this and jack up the cruise rates. Look, there's cameras everywhere, but if you want to tip your cabin steward, do it. And look, we always give a little extra cash to our cabin stewards and our waiters. That we've always given the extra cash. This is about giving extra cash. This is about the $180, $200, $300, whatever it is, that we are paying the cruise line as automatic gratuities that are supposed to be extra for the crew. But it turns out it's not extra. They use that money to subsidize the guarantees they're offering their employees, so they themselves are not having to pay for most of the employee salary. So in the example of the $1,500, if the guy makes $1,000 in tips, the cruise line doesn't come out of their pocket for $1,500. They only have to come out of pocket $500 because the other $1,000 came in the tips. So tip the extra. I don't think the cruises are going to go up because you're tipping extra. Maybe. But if we all stopped paying the automatic gratuities, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But, and this was a Royal Caribbean story to begin with. And their rates for cruises are already off the chart expensive.
They are. Yeah.
Right? But we're the ones mostly paying for their employees.
Yeah.
Mostly. And not through the cruise fare, through the tips. Right? You think about it. A cabin steward these days takes care of 30 cabins. Mm-hmm. Right? 30 cabins.
Yeah, that's about the average, I think.
And let's say out of your gratuity every day, the cabin steward's supposed to get $3. So on a 7-day cruise, that's $21. Mm-hmm. Right? $21 times 30 cabins, that's $630, because we're doing a week, times 4 weeks in a month. $2,520. I can tell you right now, there's not a cabin steward in this industry making $2,500 a month. So they're making money, meaning the cruise line, from the tips on top of everything else. I just think that's low. I really do. So anyway, Gina says, that's sad. That's not a tip. No, it's not a tip. That's exactly the point of the story. It is not a tip. It is subsidizing the draw that the cruise line has guaranteed their employees. True Texas Girl says, and international flights are not cheap unless the company are helping find discounted flights. I'm not sure what that aspect is. Like I said, I have the documentation. I wanted to talk about it here and get some feedback, and then maybe we'll do a produced video. I gladly show everybody the documentation. As I said, it wasn't given to me. We found this story sort of buried a little bit, but we found the story, and I was shocked. And I'm not trying to make waves with the cruise lines. I'm not. But you shouldn't be calling it a gratuity if it's not a gratuity. It's misleading. And I think that's what rubs me the wrong way. For 20 plus odd years, we've been cruising and thinking that our tips are going to the employees as a tip, as a bonus, as an extra. It's not. By the way, everybody's saying me. I tip the porters. Me, Mama Tall Man, Macrina. Everybody tips the porters. Okay. So Ashley, so when we give the room steward a cash tip, do they share it with their housekeeping team? No. Cash tip is a cash tip. It goes in their pocket. And this is where the deflection of money becomes challenging. Because, typically during the cruise, you're just dealing with your cabin steward. But from time to time, there'll be somebody that brings your cabin steward extra towels. Mm-hmm. Because, he's here working and he might need some extra towels. Or again, there's the people that clean the hallways and the different things that get lumped into the percentage of what is going to that section in the gratuities.
Or what's supposed to be going
to be. Well, it does, but not as a tip.
Not in the way that we've been told.
Not as a tip.
Yeah.
Always tip the porters. All right. So let's just stop there for a second. So the porters. Again, I just want you to think about this. Almost all the porters belong to a union. Not 100%, but almost all. Now, unions are pretty good at getting their people pretty darn good salaries.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? When we look this up, the median salary of a porter, salary, not tips, guys, salary is $60,000. Now, this being said, what do the porters do? They take your luggage from your trunk and move it about 5, 6, 7 feet and into a cage. Right? Then they may, sometimes may not, somebody does, pushes the cart full of luggage into the terminal. Now, mind you, sometimes it's the porter that you came in contact with, but a lot of times it's somebody else. Mm-hmm. Okay? And in the end, once it gets inside the terminal, somebody else takes control. Every bag goes through a scanner, gets put back on the cart, and then a forklift picks the cart up and puts it onto the ship, where then the ship's teams take control of the bags and distribute them this, that, or whatever.
And bring them to your rooms or
yes. I think the point I'm trying to make with the porter is you're tip this person, whatever you tip them, to move your bag about 7 feet. Mm-hmm. And in the end, the people who do far more work with your luggage are the ones in the ship that never get tipped.
Yeah.
And so, look, I've been tipping porters for a long time, and I'm always gracious with tips, and I would give them a $20 bill to move all of our luggage. But the more I started reading into it and learning about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, these people are making a really darn good living moving bags 5, 6, 7 feet.
I will say, the last cruise that we were on, there was a porter that was talking to somebody as I was passing by, and he says, yeah, this is the easiest, best job ever. Now it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Macrina says, and don't be fooled. Those porters make a lot of money. Yes, they do. And they're union employees. It's exactly what we just said.
Yes.
So Chris is saying, so you're going to stop all gratuities and go pass out cash to the lifeguards, the people that are painting the ship, cleaning the decks, just hand out cash. Nah, sounds like a reason to not pay. Then he further says, sounds like just go eat the buffet, the entire cruise, and just pay the cabin steward. But hey, I guess it'll leave your conscience clear. Chris, I didn't say any of that. Mm-mm. So please don't put words in my mouth. Okay? What I am saying is the cruise line is not taking your automatic gratuities and spreading it around to all the people they're supposed to spread it around to as a tip. What they're doing is they're taking your gratuities and offsetting the guarantees they have promised their crew. Yeah. That's what they're doing. If you want to stop paying gratuities, by all means, that's your call, right? I just want to bring to the public what's really happening behind the scenes. It's not a tip. It's not a gratuity. It's a subsidization of the money they've guaranteed their people. Mm-hmm. That's it. If they guarantee them $1,500 and all the tips are added up and it's about $1,400, that means the cruise line technically now is only paying them $100. Mm-hmm. Because the $1,400 in automatic gratuities that came in for that person is providing them the first $1,400 of that guarantee.
Yes.
It means the cruise line's paying $100. Now, also to your point, and the people that are painting the ship in some of your examples, these are people that we can never get to.
Yeah.
I don't know how their salaries reflect gratuities because I do not believe those people are in the gratuity pool to begin with.
I would agree.
So
but I've been wrong before.
It's a weird thing. And Chris says, oh, and the poor people watching those kids while their parents go gambling, right? I guess if they need to win, they can tip them. You know, it's funny. When we first started cruising, when our daughter was younger, you would have, if you wanted to go out and have an evening, the kids areas will stay open later. Mm-hmm. You used to just have to sign up to let them know. Mm-hmm. Now you have to pay extra over and beyond, I think it's 6 o'clock. And it might be like $10 an hour or something like that.
It used to be after 10 o'clock you would have to pay.
Is it 10 o'clock? Whatever it is.
Well, it used to be. I don't know what it is now. I think it is much earlier now.
Yeah, so during the daytime, it's free.
Yeah.
But for the evening, if you want to go out to the show or go out drinking or whatever you want to do, they have that service, but you would now pay. You would pay more for that.
Yeah.
And again, I would hope that it would go to them, but I don't know.
Yeah. Now we're questioning.
Yeah, now we're questioning, right? Is it a cruise line subsidized payroll that saves the cruise line payroll wages, not a tip? Saves the cruise line taxes too. Sad. I don't know how it's parsed out. That's right. The whole labor law thing. A tip is taxed different than payroll, but a draw is a draw is a draw, and a guarantee is a guarantee is a guarantee. So I don't know how from a tax standpoint that works. I just don't. But also remember, these ships are all flagged in foreign countries. Mm-hmm. So the tax laws are different in these places anyway. Yeah. So it's really hard to follow that rabbit hole, right? So yeah. That's why it should be included in the fee and not an extra. I think the issue is taxes, that the company has to pay the government on salaries, but not on their gratuities. True Texan Girl says, yes, thank you for bringing this to our attention. I didn't know this information, nor did we.
Yeah, we didn't.
I did know some on the ships have titles that are strictly salary, like cruise director, fun squad, engineers, etc. Without a doubt, there are, right? All your officers are on a salary. Engineer types, they're on the salary. Like the guys, again, even that are painting the ship, are on a salary. These are all people that on a regular and daily basis don't come in contact with the passengers, and or like the cruise directors, the fun staff, the officers that work in guest relations and ship, guest relations area. These are non-gratuity type roles in the corporation. And I agree. It should probably be included. But here again, we come full circle with the problem. It's not extra money. It's money they're taking to subsidize the guarantees they offer their employees. So including it in the cruise fare is no different than it's not being included.
That is true.
Right? Because they've offered their passenger a certain amount of their crew, they've guaranteed them a certain amount of money. Now, if we're paying, $2,000 for our cabin and a couple $100 for gratuities, right? The $2,000 for the cabin, a lot of that money that covers your food, and it covers the officers. There's salaries and things. You got to pay back the cost of the ship. These $2 billion mega ships they're building these days, right? All that stuff comes out of there. And so if it's included or not included doesn't change the story. It's not an extra amount the employees are getting. It's not a tip or gratuity. It's subsidizing the payroll. That's all it's doing. And how it's taxed out, it doesn't matter. But I think it's just pretty underhanded, if you will, that for years, and who knows how long now, but for years, the cruise lines have presented that these extras, the tips, the gratuities, are extras for their staff.
Right.
Not subsidizing salaries. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bev says, like jobs where housing or the like are taxed differently than salary. Yeah, of course. But again, we're not talking about U.S. laws. So I don't know. I don't know how it plays, because if I remember correctly from doing all of my work overseas, we were taxed depending on local laws based upon the local laws. Like over in Europe, it's called VAT, V-A-T. And even though we're American citizens, we had to pay the European taxes on the money that was given to us, and it was taxed before it got to us. So it's different for everything. So anyway, McCrean says building tips into the cruise fare does not make it any better for the crew. It does not.
No.
But it makes it better for the cruise line, absolutely. The guaranteed wages for the crew won't change. No, they won't. In the end, if it's included, nothing changed other than the ability for you to say, no, I don't want you to charge me the gratuities. I will take care of it on my own. If they include it in the fare, that is the only thing that will change, is the ability for us to say no if you didn't want to do it, right? Because they have their guaranteed salaries, and the tips are just offsetting it. That's all that it is. So, True Texas Girl says, I was told the Hawaiian Cruises, NCL, are strictly American employees.
They are.
Because
Pride of America, it is an American flagged ship, and it does not go to any other country other than the U.S.
Yes.
That's why it
has to be flagged
American.
Yeah, is it the Jones Act or something like that? I forget what it is, but it's very simple. If you get on a ship, it has to go touch a foreign port.
Yes.
If it does not touch a foreign port, foreign soil outside of the United States, then the ship has to be flagged in the United States, and you have to pay them U.S. wages.
Yes.
I remember when they first started, there was all kinds of problems, and it's obviously been settled out. I don't know how they settle it. I don't know what they do.
Wasn't there some big hubbub recently about somebody that some ship that couldn't make their foreign port because of storms or something, and didn't they get in like serious trouble because they didn't touch?
It was a family.
Yeah.
And they missed the boat.
Yes, it was a family. It wasn't the entire ship. That's correct.
They were on a
yes. Norwegian, wasn't it?
It doesn't matter to me.
It doesn't matter.
They were actually on an excursion booked through the cruise line.
Yes.
And then something happened, it broke down or whatever it was. Anyway, they missed the ship. And they were fined by the government a lot of money because they didn't touch foreign soil.
Yes.
Because the next port was
an Alaskan
cruise. Yeah. So the next port was like British Columbia or whatever it was, and they missed it. And so they had to fly back to Seattle or whatever it was. In this case, NCL covered the fees. Yeah. The penalty. So, yeah. So Macrina says, the True Texan Girl, yes, NCL Hawaiian cruises are flagged under the U.S. flag. And more expensive because U.S. crew wants a U.S. wage. Absolutely.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. True Texas Girl says, so Disney Cruises just announced a raise in gratuities. So when cruise lines raise gratuities, are they giving raises to employees?
That's what we were just wondering. We have no way of knowing unless, like what has recently happened, employees come forward and share their pay with us.
Yes.
Otherwise, we have no way of knowing.
Correct. And
we only know what the cruise line says.
And I'm going to go back to how I started this conversation. Regardless of any of this, the money these people are making is far better than the money they can make in their own countries. It's why they do this.
Yes.
No one is going to voluntarily leave their home and their country and their family, their wives, their kids to go work on a ship for 4, 5, 6, 8 months at a time.
Yes.
Unless it's worth it to them.
Yes.
So regardless of this conversation and where the tip money goes or doesn't go, this, that, whatever, they're still making more money than they could make in their other countries. And that's fantastic that this industry has that ability to do that.
Yeah.
What this comes down to for me personally in my soul is I feel I've been cheated. Yeah. I feel I've been lied to, and that our gratuities are going to them as an extra to help improve their lives even more. When the reality is the money is going to line the pockets of the cruise lines.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So instead of them having to pay $1,500 to an employee, they pay whatever, the difference, $500, $400, $200, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? So anyway, Chris wanted to know, does the crew on your ship, the Horizon, look happy? I would say for the most part, I would say yes all the way.
Yeah,
I don't think I've run into anybody grumpy.
I haven't seen anybody grumpy. And again, that is part of the whole they're making more money working for the cruise line than they ever would in their own country. And generally people are going to be happy if you're being able to provide decent environment for your family at home.
And look, this isn't a new thing. It may be new to us and those who are watching this. But when they agree to their contracts to come and work, they already know this. And more than likely, they have friends or family or relatives or somebody else they know who works for the cruise industries who potentially got them in the front door to begin with, right?
Yeah.
And so it's not like all of a sudden there was a big change 3 days ago and everybody's going to revolt. No, this has been going on for
A long time.
a long time. It could have been going on since the beginning.
Yeah.
Who knows? But they know that going in.
We don't.
We don't. We didn't.
We just only know what we've been told. And
That, we give, $15 a day and, $5 goes to this person and $2.50 goes to this person and $3 goes to that person. No, it actually doesn't.
yeah.
It does get recorded, but it goes against the base salary that the cruise lines have offered. So in the end, whatever the offer is, they more than likely, again, we're just using $1,500 for round numbers.
Mm-hmm.
They're never going to make a penny more than that.
More than likely.
More than likely. The cash money you hand to them is 100% in their pockets. So, moving on. Macrina says, True Texan, exactly. No more money for the crew. That's correct. True Texas Girl says, I just got off the Royal Caribbean Mariner of the Seas, and the employees were very happy. They were talking about how much they loved Royal. The only negative comment was an employee, and Effie wishes she was on a bigger ship. Yeah. So generally speaking, the crews they're always happy. Right?
And I will say that we've had the same experience. It was Royal Caribbean. What was the last one we were on?
Virgin.
The last Royal Caribbean.
The last Royal Caribbean.
That was the Enchantment of the Seas.
Yes.
And there was a gentleman that was waiting on us that he had worked for Cunard. He had worked for Carnival. Who else had he worked for?
Yeah, a bunch of people.
He had worked for a bunch of people, and he was very, very happy with Royal
Mm-hmm.
Caribbean. He said as far as the workload goes on Royal, it is much easier. Service on Royal Caribbean, they have carts, so they're not having to carry out the
400
whole food, so
Yep.
it's easier on your
Push it in
back
the
and your
cart.
legs. They push it on the carts. The food is already prepared. A lot of times on some of the other cruise lines, if you're getting a salad, then they have to go and toss it. Well, it's already taken care of for them on Royal. So he was very, very happy working for Royal Caribbean.
Yeah. Yeah. In Chris's comment,
Mhm.
didn't you say from a previous cruise, I believe it was the Virgin, and the crew is so happy. Amazing on them premium cruises, how happy they are. Generally speaking, I probably can count on less than 10 fingers how many times we've come across crew on any cruise line that's not happy.
Well, I mean, the other one, the Enchantment, our cabin steward on the Enchantment
She was a little grumpy.
she was pretty cranky.
But again, 10 people in 20 years of cruising.
Yeah, that's very few.
Right?
Yeah.
So the crew doesn't know another way,
Mm-mm.
right? This is how the contracts they accept, the pay they accept. They know going in what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
For me, this subject is about, as I mentioned, us being led to believe, I hate using the word lied to, but led to believe that our gratuities are extra money that the crew members make. That is not the case.
Yeah, and that's what's upsetting.
That's what's upsetting.
Because you think that when you're not removing your tips and by paying them the prepaid gratuities,
That they're gonna get
it's
that
going
extra.
to the people who are taking care of you.
Yeah.
And
It only goes as far as it does electronically. It gets registered, as a dollar amount on their thing. So when you have your $1,500 and every day the tips add up and add up and add up and add up, and at the end of the month when the statement is printed, you're either going to get your $1,500 guarantee. You're going to get your $1,500
Yeah.
guarantee.
there you go.
The only difference is how much money is the cruise line paying of that $1,500.
Right.
That's the big difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see here. Carol says, yes, I feel the same way. Macrina says, again, the pay the crew gets, they are happy. They don't care who pays the wage, but they get it. That is correct.
That is true.
And maybe a little more if the minimum is surpassed. The wage makes them have a good living. Absolutely.
Yes.
Chris says, on the cheap ones, not so much. Look, MSC and Carnival right now, I would say if you're looking for the least expensive cruise out there, you're going to end up on an MSC or a Carnival. And again, the crew members, they're happy. Just like Macrina says, they're getting the money that they were promised. And they go in that knowing that. That's why they're not grumpy. This is just about the crew. In my opinion, I'm not going to speak for Lisa. The cruise lines being more transparent and not being so underhanded. The gratuities are not extra money. They're not gratuities. It's payroll. That's what it is.
Pretty much, yeah.
So the automatic gratuities, it is not automatic gratuities. It is payroll subsidization.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what's frustrating to me. So will I stop all the gratuities and just bring a bunch more cash? I don't know. But I can tell you that the people that we were expecting to make a little more, they're not making a little more.
No.
They're making a penny more.
No.
Unless you physically hand them the penny, and then they're making more. True Texan Girl, the wording on the website is misleading. Oh, absolutely, 100. And Bev says, yes, it's about transparency. Absolutely, 100% about transparency. Right? The cruise, they're getting the money they were expecting to get. They're not going to be unhappy. But the money that they are getting doesn't come from the cruise lines. Most of it is coming from us, and not as a tip, as payroll. There's the transparency issue right there.
Yeah.
So anyway, like I said, I don't know if we'll do a special video on this and just, post it. The lives, people came here to watch the first half, right? And so most people aren't going to stick through to hear this part of the conversation. But I think it's a very important topic. If they're going to be gratuities, then they should be gratuities. If it's going to be payroll, then it should be payroll. But don't be misleading. Come and fess up, and let's get on to the next cruise, right? Yeah. I mean, it's just that, and so I'm not sure really what to make of it yet. Really, Chris says, really, Macrina, I wonder if we were working on a cruise ship and we had our choice, would we choose, say, Princess, Celebrity, Disney, or Conquest Glory? I wonder who would tip more. So hang on. I'll read that again, everybody. Chris says, really, Macrina, I wonder if we were working on a cruise ship and we had our choice, would we choose, say, Princess, Celebrity, Disney, or the Conquest, or the Glory? I wonder who would tip more. So, in the end, what's it matter, Chris? Your tip's not a tip. If you physically hand somebody cash, it's a tip. But those gratuities that the cruise lines are taking from you automatically, they're not tips. They're subsidizing their payroll. That's the thing that we got to get through here. Okay? As far as tips go, like physically we're going to hand extra cash, honestly, I probably would pick Disney.
Would you?
I think people that go on Disney would probably tip a little better.
I could see that.
And even though we haven't been on there, I would feel that.
Oh, you've been all over Disney parks, so
yeah,
I totally understand that feeling.
Yeah.
I would think so too.
But in Macrina's point is it's perfectly said. But it doesn't matter. It's a payroll subsidy. It is. It's not a tip. It's a payroll subsidy.
Yeah.
But again, if you're going to hand somebody extra, I would guess out of the ones he put up there it would be Disney. I don't know. It's hard to say. It could be Celebrity. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. But you know what? And Chris, only to your benefit, you didn't put Royal on there because we know you're the big loyal Royal, and you didn't put that on there. But of course, Celebrity is part of the Royal family.
It is.
Yeah. Anyway, Valor says, I have noticed on my bill from MSC that they didn't call it gratuity. They called it hotel service charge. Interesting.
I've heard a lot of people talking about that, and they don't. It's funny, they don't like it being called that either. I mean, you got to call it something, but now that I know what's going on, have a little bit of insider information. I don't like that it is called a gratuity because it really isn't a gratuity. So in that aspect of it, I guess the The hotel fee, I mean, I guess that's a little more acceptable than gratuity. I don't know.
Yeah, Chris, you're really missing this point, buddy. I really feel you're missing the point. All the employees for all the cruise ships are happy. They're all happy. Of course, there's going to be a few that are miserable, but generally, they're all happy. Cruise Line A said, I'm going to pay you $1,500. Cruise Line B said, I'm going to pay you $2,500. Cruise Line C says, we're going to pay you $1,750. Doesn't matter what the number is. They're getting paid. The crew is, which is perfect. And they always get paid, which is why they're happy, which is why they've worked for these companies from 10, 15, 20 years, a lot of them. The point is, it's not the cruise lines paying their salary. Most of their salary is a subsidy from the gratuities that we as passengers provide. Okay?
And it's also because we think that they're getting that $1,500 plus the extra $3 a day that we're putting on our, but no, they're not. That's the issue, is they're not getting that plus the $3 per person or whatever that additional amount that they're supposed to be getting. They're not getting it.
Yes, they're not getting it.
So they're happy, we're not.
Correct. Yeah, because cruise line said you're going to get paid $1,500. Boom, they get paid $1,500. They're happy. You're going to make $1,750. Again, whatever your contract goes. Bam, at the end of the month, they're $1,750. They're happy.
Yeah.
The point is, the $1,750 isn't coming from Royal, Carnival, MSC, Disney, Princess, whatever cruise line you want to mention. 70% plus of every document that I looked at, it comes from the gratuities. So instead of the cruise line paying out the $1,500 and then they get extra tips from the gratuities, it's not. At least 1,000, 1,200 of the 1,500 comes from the gratuities, which means the cruise line is only coming out of their pocket $200, $300, $400. And so we're essentially, through gratuities, paying 70-ish% of the salaries of the crew, as opposed for it to being a bonus, because it's a tip. A tip is supposed to be extra.
Yeah.
Not money taken from a draw.
Yeah.
That's that's the big point here. Yeah. Impala. Oopty. Chris is like, I wish I could find the stats on which cruise line has the most employees with the longest amount of tenure. Yeah, that would be good to know, right? Yeah. I don't know. Like we were talking to one of the servers we saw in Royal, they bounced around a lot. And they've been with Royal now for a bit of time. I forget it was, but it was a while. They loved it. He was a server in the restaurant. And for the servers in the restaurant, and we've pointed this out, I don't think we've said this out loud to you guys, but Royal is the only cruise line we've ever been on thus far that the servers bring the food out of the kitchen in a cart.
And we love that.
So they're not having to carry the big heavy carts, because you carry those big heavy dishes day after day after day after day after day, year after year after year after year, it's going to tear you up.
It does.
So the fact so this particular guy loves working for a Royal, but he also said some of the other cruise lines he was with, they prefer younger employees. And this guy wasn't decrepit by any stretch of the imagination, but the younger ones were the ones getting promoted, not the older ones. And so they saw, and again, it's not nepotism, but they saw how it was really working and chose they didn't want to stay there. So he moved on, but this particular person was happy with Royal. Yeah. Mama Tallman says $5. I don't know what she's talking about. I just feel the premise of this conversation is to justify not paying gratuities and pay them yourself. Again, it's not a gratuity, Chris. The automatic gratuities that we think are going to the employees as extra, it is not. The automatic gratuities that come out of your C-Pass card, or even if you pay them ahead of time. Sometimes we've been paying our gratuities long before we even get on the ship. They're not gratuities. They're subsidies of the employee's payroll. It's not extra money. It's not you did a great job money. It's not a tip. It's their payroll. But the cruise lines are telling us it's a gratuity. It is not a gratuity. You're subsidizing their payroll. If I want somebody to make extra money, I will hand them cash because it's extra money. That's a tip. That's a gratuity. That's not what's happening in the industry. Right? And I think the switch probably happened when they went from you sticking money in an envelope to automatic gratuities.
Yeah.
Because then
probably
it's the
so.
cruise line that decides what they're going to do with it.
Yeah.
And in this case, they're not giving it to them as a bonus. It's their salary. They will never make more than the $1,500 or whatever the dollar amount that they've been promised in their contract. So, but remember, switching the gears again, all the employees of the cruise lines agreed to a contract and a dollar amount. And they're happy to get that dollar amount because they can't make anything close to that in their home countries. So they're doing well, especially they don't have to pay for food. They don't have to pay for where they live here on the ship. I mean, that's all provided. Okay. So they don't know the difference. They just don't know the difference. We know the difference because we have all felt and being led to believe that our gratuities were extra money that the employees were actually making. It is not. It's their salary. So that's not the point. The point of the conversation is, Chris, that for you all to know that when your cruise line charges you $16 a day for a gratuity, that it's not a gratuity. It's a subsidy to payroll. That's what the point of this conversation is. And do with that information what you feel is best to do with that information. We, on the ship, we've paid our gratuities. Will we do it on the next ship and the ship after that and the ship after that? I don't know. Because if it's supposed to be a gratuity and a tip, then potentially, again, we haven't decided, I would probably stop paying the automatic gratuities. I would go down to customer service right when I get on the ship, have it removed, and I will go tip the people myself that serve us. People in the restaurants and our cabin stewards, because then I know it's an actual tip and an actual gratuity, not taking my money and lowering the overall cost of the cruise line's payroll. And that's all the gratuities have been doing. So instead of them having to pay $1,500, they pay $300, $400, $500, $600, whatever it is. So anyway, yep. Macrina says, I have known some Carnival stewards there for 40 years. Yeah, some of these people have been here a long time. It's a lifetime job.
It is.
And they retire with the line. Yes, a lot of them do.
Mm-hmm.
They must have strong muscles 40 years to clean rooms. Yeah, whatever it is, man. Cleaning the rooms or waiting on people in the dining room or whatever their jobs
It's
are,
tough
right?
work.
It's
long
tough
hours
work.
and you're away from
Yeah.
your friends and family. It's hard.
I just think of those guys out there with their little hammer drills and the little oh my God, what are those little chairs called that they're hanging off the side of the ship when you're in port, knocking off all the rust and repainting it?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
God bless you, man.
Mm.
Well, on Disney, it specifically says what the money is for. So try Disney. Yeah. Well, so do these cruise lines. They all say it's a gratuity, but they've been lying. So I don't know. I can't speak for all cruises. I can tell you about the handful of people we've talked to thus far from different cruise lines, but we've never been on a Disney cruise. So I don't know how their employees how their monies are divvied up. But I will just say this, even with Royal, just recently in the news because they raised, or was it was either Royal or Carnival. I forget. It was just in the news over the last week or so. Somebody's prices went up and it may have been actually been Disney. I don't know. Anyway, the gratuities went up. And what was posted the next day was, or the day after, was how that $15 is busted up. $3 goes to this person, $5 goes to this person, blah, 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 blah. The reality is those charts of how your money breaks down, they've been around with all the cruise lines. But again, we come full circle one more time. They're not getting it as a tip. That's the thing. It's not a gratuity. It's subsidizing their draw or their guarantee, whatever you want to call it. It's not $1,500 they make plus. It's only ever going to be $1,500. Now, they're happy with that. That's why they stay doing this. But cruise lines, let's just be honest with your passengers. It's not a gratuity. Call it payroll subsidy. I don't know, but it's not a gratuity. Macrina says, I appreciate your candid honesty. Robert and Lisa, much respect. Absolutely. Like I said, we sat on this for a couple weeks. I sat on this. And she didn't really wrestle with it much because I'm the one doing all the talking anyway. I've talked to some other industry people and like, what would you do and this and that. And like, yeah, I don't know. And I know. And I'm not trying to make waves with the cruise lines. That's not the point of this. We're not trying to, even if we do a separate video, it's not going to be a clickbait kind of thing. It's just, here's the information, guys. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. I get it. It's one of the most attractive ways to take a vacation these days, which is why their ships are getting in bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger because they need more berths. I get all of that. Just be honest. Be honest. They're not gratuities. They're subsidies of your payroll. and to be honest, that probably would sit okay with most people.
I think it was Bev that was talking about just, added into the cruise fare. I mean, and that makes sense to me because then people it won't say, oh, well, I didn't have a drink at the bar, so I'm taking my tips off. I'm not going to pay my gratuities because I didn't use that service. But it's still going towards the payroll for the employees.
Yes.
And then if you want to tip, your server, your house, your steward, by all means.
Or throw some cash up to the guys painting the ship.
Yeah, but then it's truly your choice.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep, truly your choice.
Either way, the cruise lines are guaranteeing them that they're going to make a certain dollar amount, and they make that certain dollar amount.
Yep. Which makes them happy. Them happy, right?
It does.
But
it's just
on the other side of the door.
Yeah.
Is the passengers, and transparency and not being lied to, I think is
I think that's huge.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, just think of like it's California's fault. Being transparent.
Yes.
Years ago, you remember booking, and it was $500 to book a cabin, and then you go to make to check out, and you're done, and all of a sudden it's $1,000.
Yeah.
Whoa, where'd all that hidden cash come from? Well, that was cruise lines not being transparent.
Yeah.
Right? Because they don't let you know what the port charges and the taxes are, and literally until you're on the last screen, you're done. But those in California thought that was misleading and that not being transparent.
Uh-huh.
Right?
And the gratuities, in my opinion, fall along in that line.
Right. And so now they're including, the taxes and port charges within the fees that are being advertised.
Yes.
So it is transparent. But the gratuities are not part of that.
And they're not gratuities.
That's probably why they're not part of it.
Yeah.
It's their payroll.
It is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, on that note, we've been with you for a while. We'll let you sit with that and chew and ponder.
Yeah.
We're in the Caymans tomorrow night. Again, we've already said it before, but we'll reiterate. We are going to be bringing you deck 5 tomorrow, hopefully inside and outside. And we're going to have another fun night tomorrow full of stuff to talk about from the cruise industry. And until we see you then, we hope you all have a great night and a great day tomorrow. Be safe. Peace.